Hello everyone, welcome to my channel if you're new and welcome back if you're returning. So right here I'm just quickly showing you some of the products I'm going to be using for today's video, and I finally got out of my little creative slump and needed to get in my nail room and make this set. This is what I had in mind. I usually make a sample nail to see how it's going to work out, see what colors work together. That wasn't the only sample nail I made, but it was the one I liked. So, and then I just kind of went from there. So I guess you could call it a freestyle or winging it. I don't know. So I have done the pop-off method so far, and then I put a small clear bead on these tips, and this is the full length. I didn't take anything off, but the little nub at the end of those Kiara Sky tips that are my favorite. I've showed you guys before on my channel. They're just my favorite. I'm going to be using all these other products here, and I want to introduce you guys to these, okay? If you are not watching Galore Nails, just like it's printed there on the box, and just like it's going to come across the screen on YouTube, Galore Nails right here, you need to first of all push stop and go search her channel and subscribe. If you guys are not subscribed to her channel, I don't know what you're doing. You're sleeping, first of all. Second of all, you've seen the videos where nail techs hold up pieces of, cards that are handwritten, just pieces of paper that are written with Sharpie, where the client has to blindly pick their style, coffin, stiletto, short, long, bling, etc. Well, this girl made a deck of cards. Are you kidding me? And this is her at Ms Galore Nails on Instagram. Go follow her there too. This is deck 1. She does have a second in the series that she just released, and I'm going to be linking her video in my description box here to the new deck. But I was lucky enough to get my hands on this deck here, and I cannot wait to use it. As you can see here, it's colors, shapes. Just shuffle them, and you don't have to write. You don't have to write any of those cards. Like, how cool is this? How come no one else has thought of this? How come this hasn't blown up? You guys go hit her up, buy these cards. They're priced reasonable. They're badass. Her channel is amazing. She's great at nails, so you're sleeping if you're not there. All right, so let's get into it. Plus, she's nice, okay? She's good people. Let's just say that. she's good people. Okay, so getting into the set, we're gonna be doing a freestyle here, basically. I just had some colors, like I showed you the little sample nail I did, and then that's what I usually do. I'll grab some, I'll have colors in mind that I want to work with. Or I'll see something, like for example, I saw a video that Ta Beauty did a couple years ago, came across my feed, and it was these two colored marbles. Well, it was a much bolder, more solid purple and solid blue, but it just gave me the idea, okay, I want to do something like that. So I'm going to mention her, but I'm not going to tag or post the set because it's nothing like her set. It was just the colors that got me. But that's where I just saw those colors and my mind did what it used to do, which is, okay, I've got to get in my nail room and I've got to start working on some nails because I have this in mind and I've got to get it out of my system. I haven't had that feeling, you guys, in months. I've posted Watch Me Works because it's content and I have nail clients and it's a good way to get, something posted. But I also mentioned on my channel very briefly that I did have a pretty severe family tragedy I'm still not ready to talk about, but that also really set me down for a while. So it was really thrilling to me that I was able to get in my nail room and make a set. Now, I did plan on my next video being the giveaway, but again, this inspo just came to me last night. I haven't had inspo in so long that I had to do this. So the giveaway will be next, and after that, I'm going to have a couple Watch Me Works, and then I'm going to be using Ms Galore's cards I'm just going to shuffle them and deal them out and do a set come what may from those cards, and I'm so excited to do that because you know what, you guys, first of all, I struggle with choices. Like, how am I going to make a choice with all this stuff I have? I've talked about it before. I have enough nail stuff because I went crazy buying years ago. Oh my gosh, I have so much to tell you guys. So I know I'm talking through this application, but don't let me forget e-file. That's the other thing I have to tell you guys about. So anyway, yeah, I can't wait to do a set with those cards. I literally just can't wait because that will take the agony of trying to figure out what to do out of it. And also help me challenge myself and get creative. So if you guys don't have those, like, I'm not making a commission or anything. Like, I'm not telling you guys for any other reason than they're so cool, and I can't believe everybody doesn't have them. I can't believe everybody doesn't know about her and her channel and these cards. And like I mentioned, she just came out with a second series. So even if you used these over and over and over again, she has a second deck with more choices. Like, what? So if you're ever having a creative block, it's over. You don't have to worry anymore. Just go get those. So I can't wait to use those. So I have lots of videos planned, thankfully. So I'm back on YouTube, and I'm also back, like, mentally. And then another thing that happened is I have 2 e-files. I have my white portable one that I've had for like 3 years that I use a lot. I use it a lot. The battery's excellent. There's nothing wrong with it. But just yesterday, it started shorting out when I moved the handpiece. So there's a short in the cord, which is just agonizing to me. I only paid $80 for it 3 years ago, so I definitely got my use out of it. It's a Melody Susie Scamander, I think is how you pronounce it. I've shown it on my channel before, but I'm really bummed out that I don't have a portable file anymore. I still have my 2-in-1 e-filing lamp that I use for all of my clients and when I'm in my nail room, but I like to do sometimes filing and shaping like in my house or outside, you know, on myself. So I really do need a portable nail drill, and I've been waiting and waiting for Not Polish to release theirs. Because I don't want to buy a Care Sky one. I just feel like they're too expensive. Even if Not Polish is the same price or more expensive than Care Sky, I am still going to trust it more. I've heard from many other people that those Care Sky drills are very, very powerful and very good, but that they don't last very long, which I'm not sure if that's true, but just even hearing that and some of the other struggles I've had with Care Sky in the past, I don't know. I've told you guys this before on my channel as well. I'd rather just go with Not Polish just because I know they're guaranteed. Also, I have kind of, I don't know how to say this without it sounding strange, but I kind of have a personal relationship with them where I could just contact them. And I think every customer has a personal relationship with them. If you just DM them, they'll answer you almost instantly, and they take care of whatever you need. So I know if I had any kind of equipment failure, if I spend the money and the investment on an e-file with them, I'm just not going to worry about some technicality or it's not under warranty or anything. If anything goes wrong with it, I know I can just get a hold of them. So that makes me feel better about choosing to buy that one. So as soon as it's released, I'm getting one. And now I was already planning on getting one, but I already have 2 and I don't need one. So I'm bummed that mine broke, but I'm also, like, I literally just saw on one of their brand ambassadors pages on Instagram, literally yesterday, the same day my e-file broke, was the first day I've seen a BA using one, which means they're getting ready to release it. So anyway, I'm excited about that. So let's talk about the nails. You saw the products I'm using, which is Let's Jam, which is the darker blue color from Not Polish, which is a colored acrylic. And then Bad and Bougie by Valentino, which I've had for a while, but I've never got to use. So this was the first time I was actually using it. So I wasn't sure how that product worked. I wasn't sure of the actual color once it dried. I love it. I love how it works. I love what it's much more pink than I thought it was once it dries. It does definitely have a different texture and a different workability than Not Polish that I'm used to. And the other color, which is Lilac Lolly, is one of Not Polish's jelly acrylics. So you'll see as we go here that it's a sheer color. It's a candy or I can't think of the name of it now. It's from the Candy Coated collection that makes it a jelly acrylic. So like a jelly polish where it's semi-transparent. So it's a lot of clear with just a slight bit of pigment. So you can build it up to get the color darker, or you can leave it more sheer. You can also use it as a clear to encapsulate if you don't mind the colored tint to it. So while I'm doing this set, I'm working a little differently than normal. I'm using wetter beads, smaller beads, and I'm building up the nail with this I only use a very little bit of clear to encapsulate at the end. And right here when I'm doing this, you guys, this is a perfect example of trust the process, because this looks terrible, it looks hideous. What is she doing? Like, I'm not trying to marble. I'm not trying to do a, what are those called? Like a camo nail or whatever that's called. And I'm not trying to encapsulate here. I'm just trying to build up some colors And I know that this blue, once it's dry, even though it is not a glow-in-the-dark color, the way this blue comes through the purple, once it's dry, it looks like it's glowing, like it's somehow fired up under there. So I just want to get not necessarily a marble effect and not necessarily a potpourri effect. I can't think of the name of that design that people do, where it's not camo, but where they're basically doing what I'm doing, just patting different colors in different areas. So maybe there isn't a name for it, but this is just what I'm doing. It was the look I was going for. Sometimes I wanted a little more blue, sometimes I wanted a little more purple. So you'll just see as I go. It might look a little different or a little strange, but that is why I'm doing that. Okay, also, I don't know if you noticed when I did the cuticle bead on the ring finger there. Again, that was the first bead I ever worked with Bad and Bougie besides just swatching it. I'm using my Kara Sky brush, which I'm really trying to get into the habit of using my other brushes, just so I'm not always relying on my one favorite, because I've had it for 3 years. I'm afraid it's gonna give out on me at some point and I'm just gonna be, lost. But I don't know if you noticed, if I had been using my other brush, which I do use the other brush when I do the same design on the index or thumb, I can't remember, and I need to ombre and do a cuticle bead, I do grab that smaller brush, because I don't know if you noticed, when I laid that bead, I couldn't blend it because this brush is too soft and it has too much give. So had I been working with my other brush that is stiffer, I would have been able to blend that down and shape it more, whereas it stayed in a larger humped area that just wouldn't have happened if I had been using my other brush. So that was annoying, and I just don't know how to find another brush that is stiff like that. I just need another one. If anyone knows, let me know. Again, this looks hideous, but literally when this is done, that blue looks like it's lit up, like there's light behind it or something. It looks really cool. Also, you guys, it's 107 degrees, and I'm getting ready to go into work, and I'm sitting outside in my car doing this voiceover, so I know there's a little bit, as usual, a little bit of background noise in my voiceover. I'm sorry about that, but I'm in my car with my AC on, so if you hear any background, air noise, that's what that is. So yeah, there were some other things. Oh, I wanted to let you know as well. I'm sure you've noticed that this is a longer video. What I did was I kept the filing, the top coat, and the bling in the video. And all the application is in real time, but everything else is sped up. But the reason... okay, so I guess what happened was, when I was done with this set, I didn't know how much room I had on my phone, and I didn't know how long it was going to take me to do the finished filing and the bling, and I didn't know if I was going to have time to record it, or if I was going to do it inside the house or stay in my nail room. So what I did was, when I was finished with the set, with the application, and I was ready to start filing, I filed and top coated and did the bling on the thumb, cuticle oil and everything, like I finished it, so I could have that on video, not knowing I was going to record the rest. So I do the thumb completely in full and then end up showing you guys the rest, because I did end up staying in my nail room. And here's another example. This bead right here, if I had my smaller, stiffer brush, I just would have been able to just control it better, get in the corners better. I feel like when I push down with this brush, it doesn't give me the resistance and the push and pull on the bead that I want. I have to go up toward the ferrule and use the base of my brush to get any stiffness. See, I'm having to push my whole brush up against the back of that, when I guess I stick to my smaller brush because I'm used to that stiffness where it actually moves the bead without feathering it. Like, sometimes you need to grab that bead. If anyone else knows what I'm talking about, please let me know. And if you have a stiffer brush that doesn't have so much give, like literally every other brush I've got, you guys, I have like 20 or 30 brushes. It's ridiculous, because I have shopped and tried and asked other people when I'm watching their videos, what brush is that? It looks long and thin and stiff the way I like it, and I get it, I order it and I get it, it never is. And I've even been lucky enough to get other brushes like my favorite brush, but none of them are exactly like it, unfortunately. They just aren't the same. I've not been able to find it. I don't know. And this is a size 8 from Sky, and it's the same size as my 10 and 12s. They run really big, and this is their smallest one. So even though their brush is in excellent quality and I actually really love working with it, it's the other brush I'm most comfortable with, my second favorite brush. But not for my cuticle area, not for any work where I need to really control a bead. Let me know, you guys, if I'm making sense and if you guys have the same struggle. So right here I'm just putting wet beads only where I want them to be. And another thing I wanted to mention, I talk a lot about padding in my videos, and there's a lot of angles and times and opportunity in this video for you guys to see what I mean by that, because as you can see, most of it's just padding and tapping in place. Like if you're wondering how to cover the sides of your C-curve nails, there's so much sidewall to get a product on. It's really hard to get the right amount of product without making your nail wide and then not too little where you file it off at the first stroke of your file. I struggled with that for a good year when I was trying to learn to do nails, especially because this is my favorite shape. I love a really narrow C-curve coffin. That's my favorite shape of all time. So I really had to learn how to do it, and padding is the name of the game. You'll see when I'm doing some of the other application, I think when I get to the index finger and the blue bead that I'm going to put on the bottom of it, this one right here, this is a perfect example of how padding will help you. So I'm going to place this bead, and getting it everywhere else I need, the rest it's going to be padding. So just take a look at this. I'm going to let you guys watch the application. I'll jump back on if I see anything else. Okay, I'm home from work. It's later in the evening, so the background noise is going to be crickets now. Sorry. But I want you guys to notice I'm using my smaller brush now. You see how it's stiff and it gives me resistance and it pushes back? You see how I'm able to pat this cuticle bead in place? I'm shaping and doing and using the same technique that I did over there, but it doesn't let me drag it down as far because I can't push as firmly. Like I can't push into the meat of that bead and make it melt and bring it down. It just only lets me smooth it out, meaning my other brush only lets me feather it down. It doesn't let me use any pressure. When I use pressure with my other brushes, they give me no resistance. They just bend back. They don't hold. I don't know. I hope I'm explaining that right, but maybe you could have seen that I just wanted to bring that up on that bead that I just did there on the index finger here, because that was a good example of how this brush does push back and let me move the beads. And I'm back to the other brush now because I'm just encapsulating. Sometimes I encapsulate in purple, and sometimes in clear. If I need to cover glitter, I'm using the clear, but if I need to deepen the color of the nail, I use the purple because it will encapsulate, and I don't want the nail to be too thick, so I don't want to add purple and clear. And if you notice that middle finger as I'm moving around, do you see how that blue looks like it's glowing almost? And I did remember the name of what I think these might be called, which might be tie-dye nails. I don't know. Here's another example of how this brush lets me, see how it lets me spread out and push down that bead? My other brushes do not let me do that. The brush just bends back. So how do y'all do precise work with a brush that is flimsy? It doesn't have any give. I'm sorry, it doesn't have any resistance. It has too much give. Like, I don't know. So I did mention in the beginning that this was a pop-off set, and the only nail that popped off during filing was this middle one. And I want to know if any of you all that do content that do pop-off sets, do you ever notice that even if it's 5 minutes later, when you have to put a nail back on after it's popped off, so it pops off, so of course you're going to finish filing it while it's off. And when I do that, I will put the nail back on a couple times just to make sure I'm not over-filing, to make sure I'm not taking away from the cuticle area or whatever. But you do have to go on the underside and get the peel-off base and glue out from under it, because if you just stick it right on your nail, it's going to be, raised, because that's there in the middle. The well of the tip that's now like a press-on that you're putting back on. So you do have to do that, but for the most part, the filing and shaping is just the sidewalls and the free edge and the top of the nail. You're just shaping the nail itself. When you put it back on, it's shrunk. It never fits exactly the way it did when it came off. So your cuticle area never looks good. So when that happens to me, sometimes I'll go around with a sanding band, and sometimes I will put on a new top coat to kind of seal that area back up, just for pictures, because I don't mind so much that they pop off and I have to file them off the nail. What I mind is I do all this work and spend all this time, and I think I'm satisfied with a set, and the pictures look bad because they look like press-on. They look like I've just stuck them there, when actually I did good cuticle work. But now that I've had to put it back on, ugh. Okay, and this angle was kind of an accident. It was just the way I was doing my nails, but this is a great way for you guys to see what I mean by patting and dragging. So when you put on a bead, you should make it big enough to where it can be pulled down. So like where I put that bead was too high, or it wasn't big enough because it didn't come all the way down. So, I mean, that's how I like to do it anyway. I don't think filling in turns out very well most times, but this is kind of a good angle and a good way to see how I get my sidewalls covered without my sidewalls being too wide, and how I keep the shape of the tip. Because you can see that I pat this bead in place, even though I had to add another one and blend them. I pat it in place until I have the whole area covered, and then I start tucking in and aiming toward the high center, aiming my product toward the high center, and that's when I pull it down. I pull it down when I'm getting that resistance and I know the bead is firming up so I won't drag it off. And then the next bead that I put on will be placed only higher than that to where I can blend it down or pull it down to cover this bead, if that makes sense. I see a lot of beginners putting very small beads down at the bottom, but putting them up real high, like almost to where the tip meets the natural nail, but the bead's way too small, so it only goes down, a half inch, and then the whole bottom of their nail is naked, and now they're behind the 8-ball trying to fill in that spot. So try to make your bead, wherever you place it, if it's the middle of the nail, the tip of the nail, up by where the tip meets the natural nail, if you're going to start there, if that's where you put your first bead, make it big enough to pull all the way to your free edge. That is how you're going to get good coverage and make that, like the foundation of your nail, your first bead, and what you're going to work off of from there on, uniform. So see this bead, I'm putting it right here because I know I only got a big enough one to bring it down this far. If I had put that size bead right there to begin with, and I didn't have anything below me, do you see how that bead would have only went to like the top of the second bead? It wouldn't have come to my free edge. So now I'm gonna have to make up space and put a bead down at the bottom and try to blend it up toward my bead that's above that I can't now pull it down into. I can't ombre it. I can't blend it because I'm behind, if that makes sense. Maybe one day I'll do that on purpose to show you what I mean, because maybe I'm not explaining it right. All right, so I'm going to get off and let you guys watch. If I see anything else, I'll jump on. You guys, for the most part, I think the people who comment, you know, are frequent commenters and always noticing each time I post, I think you all mostly have seen the post I put on my community tab about the giveaway. So let me just remind you again. Number one, thank you so much for getting me to 500 subs. I think we're at 508 right now, and it has held for over a week. So I'm ready to do the giveaway. It is going to be a 2-winner giveaway. And I did mention and show on several videos back what I was going to be giving away. But of course, when I make the giveaway video, I will put it all on the video so everyone knows what is up for grabs. And again, one more time, the only thing you need to do to enter is be a subscriber. So be subscribed to my channel and make sure that your subscription is that you're a public. See how I'm struggling to blend this because my brush won't let me. Now I go get my smaller brush and it lets me put pressure to shape that bead. Oh, it's so annoying. It's like my eternal struggle with nails. It's like one of my only struggles I can't figure out how to overcome. Anyway, you have to have your subscription public, or when I go to YouTube Studio and I click on my subscribers to grab that list of names to put in the giveaway wheel, your name will not be there. It'll say you have 508 subscribers, but only 137 are visible to me. So I can only less than 150 people are going to be entered in the giveaway, which makes the odds great for everyone who are public, but you guys might think you're entered and you're not. So, and at last count, we were at about 140. It was less than 150 subscribers that were public. So I was only able to enter about 150 names in the wheel. And under my community tab, I did put a link to a video that shows you what being public means and how to make yourself public. So if you have any questions about that, just let me know in the comments of this video. And I want to show you guys, as soon as I'm done with a set, this is how I clean my brushes. As soon as I'm finished with my application, I get my cup with clean monomer in it, and I put the brushes that I've used in there. I put them at the level that they should be at, where they're not, the brushes, the bristles aren't being spread apart by the slats at the bottom, but that the whole bristle is submerged almost to the ferrule. And I let it soak till the next day, 20 minutes, an hour. Whenever I think of it next, I pull them out and I dry them off, wipe it off with paper towel, and that's it. That's all the cleaning I ever do to my brush. And the only product that's in that cup, you can get them on Amazon for like $6. You can get them on Shein for like $3. The only thing that's in that cup is monomer, period, and good monomer. Don't put crappy monomer in there like I used to do. I used to put the monomer that I didn't, monomer that I bought that I don't use, that I don't like. I put that in there so I wasn't wasting my good monomer in the cup. Well, that ended up making my sets come out bad because now my brushes that I'm using are still saturated with that bad monomer. I couldn't figure out why my beads would keep sticking to my brush, and etc. So you do have to use good monomer, and I don't know, to me it's worth the cost of never having to clean your brush, never ruining a brush. I've never ruined one in 3 years because I just soak them. I learned that from V on V Nailed It. She just said, someone asked her how she cleans her brushes. I don't think she uses that cup, but she said she cleans it with monomer only. And so that's what I started doing, and it's fabulous. I did mention in my last video, I can't remember what set I was doing, but I used that 60 grit nail file, which I'm using again here, which, man, it cuts down your filing time in half. It's a great file, but it does leave scratches in the nail. And so you have to go in with a couple more files to get the grit out. Like go to that's a 60. So after that, go to an 80 or 100. And then after that, go to a 180 and then a buffer to get all the scratches out. So you have to gradually go higher in your grit to get the scratches out. But that was only the first time I used it. This was the second time, and this time I was like, oh, well, if I use a sanding band, maybe that'll cut out those 2 steps, and it did. So, and I don't know why my hands always look so dirty in these videos. The color of my skin looks so bad against this lighting. I don't know what it is, but I can wash and scrub my hands and get on this video, and they will look so crusty. I don't know. Anyway, so what I did was I filed the nail. I used the sanding band and shaped it a little bit further, and then I buffed it with that Tammy Taylor peel and stick buffer. It's a sponge buffer. It's awesome. And then I'm going in with some Matte. So the Matte looks glossy, of course, before it's in the lamp, so I'm just showing you what it looks like glossy. And as soon as I got the top coat on, I could see that that cuticle bead wasn't blended very well. And I'm just not sure if it's because of my brush and how I wasn't able to blend it very well. Maybe I didn't bring it down too far. But I really think it's because it's the Bad and Bougie, my first time using it, and it's more sheer than I thought. I didn't think I would need to blend it or build it too much to cover that purple because the purple was sheer, but I did put several layers of the purple, so it was dark. So anyway, I decided that's where I was going to put my bling, so I didn't have to worry about that. So I'm going to use Zule's Cluster Gel to put all of these beads on, and how I do my bling is I just drag out things that I think match and things that I imagine will look good. Some charms, some colored, oh my gosh, I can't talk, beads. What are these called? Caviar beads. Some colored gems. I do make sure, like those loose crystals that are in the round lid right under my hand right now, I got those from Zule, and they're just assorted Swarovski. So they're really, really pretty. They give a lot of shine. And then I have some larger charms, like the butterfly and other charms in that bag to the right that I got from my local nail supply, and some from Amazon. Just have them mixed up in there. And I don't know if you noticed, but the way I like to pick up caviar beads is I like to get my, I can't think of the name, dotting tool, a small side of the dotting tool, dip it in some cluster gel. So I have a little bit of cluster gel on the end of my dotting tool, and I will just dip that wad of cluster gel in the beads, and then it will pick up a whole bunch of them, and then I just wipe that on the nail, and then I push them around with my pickup tool. So here's how this nail looks. Like I mentioned to you, I had finished it before I finished the filing on the rest of the set because I thought this was where I was going to stop. That way I could show you guys the finished product. But I want you to see how, do you see how you can see the nail glue around these gems, especially with matte, like right there? I hate that. I hate it. So I just want you to know that if you go in with another top, right here off camera, I went in with another layer of matte, and it got rid of that glue. So if you have little glue marks, I like to top coat before I put on bling because I hate trying to go around it. Every single time I will hit the gems with my brush, and then they look dull because they're covered with top coat and wooty-woo. So I always top coat first, and then if I have any little glue splotches, I'll just go over with another little bit of thin layer of top coat in that area. So since I did have more room in the video, and since I did stay in my view of camera and in my nail room to finish my set, I did keep in some more filing for you guys. This is a medium grit. It's not a 5-in-1. It's just a medium grit. I think it's not called a barrel. And it's not a 5-in-1 because it doesn't have different grits on it. So I'm not positive what it's called, but it's from Not Polish. That's why it's red. And it has, I've hardly ever used it. I have it on a speed of about 11 or 12,000. And there's not too much shaping to do because I try to make my acrylic as close to the side walls, or I'm sorry, as close to the shape of the tip as I can. So really for the most part it's sealing the cuticles and maybe just going over the nail, not too much deep bulking. And then as you see, I do go on the free edge just to straighten it out, which I will do again with my file in a little while. So that's what I'm going to show you guys here. As soon as I'm done with my e-file, every single time before I put it away, I dust it off really good. You guys should do that, because dust getting inside your motor is what's going to mess up your e-file. So I keep the hand file very, 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 very straight. I know I've heard other techs say a 90-degree angle. I've told you guys before, I'm not very good at like math or math class or paying attention to any of that kind of thing. I'm more of a reader, writer, grammar, spelling type person. Anyway, so I'm sure this is a 90-degree angle because that's what other people say it is, but I think that means straight against it. But that's how I file. I make sure my file is super straight, and I don't dig it in up around my natural nail, because that will create that weird gouge, if you guys know what I'm talking about, where your side wall isn't completely straight. There's that chink taken out of the nail near your free edge. I don't know if that makes sense, but the easiest way, and I was really shocked actually that I was able to file this vigorously with the pop-off method. Usually I will have lost one by now, especially right here where you have to put pressure on one side or the other. My sprinklers came on while I was talking, so I'm sorry I haven't listened to this back yet. I'm sorry if that was loud or obnoxious, but I can't go back and redo it because I'll never remember what I was saying or say the same thing again. So as you can see, that middle nail popped off. So I already explained to you guys what I'm doing, so I'm just gonna step off and let you guys watch. So by the way, what I'm doing right here is just removing the glue from the side walls of my natural nail. And I forgot to mention to you guys that my nails are naturally thin, if you haven't heard me say that before, or if you're new to my channel. So I keep polygel, a small layer of an overlay. I do an overlay on my natural nails with polygel, so that's what's on my nails currently. So when I just was using this sanding band on my natural nail, I was trying to avoid digging into my polygel, but I needed to get the peel-off base coat that was like crusty around the edges off so that I can reapply this nail. And this is peel-off base coat that I'm getting off of this nail that popped off. And the other thing I wanted to mention is that when I'm doing the buffing with the sanding band, I have it at a speed of about 7,000 or 8,000. So that was why I also did very, very minimal work on my finger there, because I didn't want to burn myself. So also with the polygel and the pop-off method, all I do is what you just saw me do there. I have polygel on my nails that has a top coat on it that I wear every day. It's just what I wear daily. So I will get some swipe and just clean the surface of my nail, and then I will put on 2 coats of that peel-off base coat and let them air dry in between, and then I will start my application as normal. So, and of course that's crooked. Nice, right? So that's what you saw me do there, was put on, I think I only showed 1 layer, but I do put on 2 layers of the peel-off base coat right on top of my polygel after the nail is cleansed. So I'm going to go in and really, 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 really straighten out the free edge and give that a nice snatched look. Also, after every single set, whether it's a client or myself or my practice hand or anything, when the nails are out of the light and top coat is on, so this is filed and cleansed with swipe. Anyway, after the nails come out of the lamp from top coat, I will go one more time on the free edge with my file, which I will show you. I've also mentioned before, first of all, I put matte. This is matte top coat, and I put it on the ring finger, not remembering that I wanted glossy top coat on that one. So I'm not sure if I have it in here, but I do take that off. I mentioned before on my channel, when I do top coat, I go in pretty sloppy. I just, yeah, here I'm taking it off. I just get the nails covered, and then I'll go in with a cleanup brush and clean it up. I'll also turn my hand upside down for a couple seconds to let the top coat roll to the high center of my nail and off of the edges. And of course I wipe the edges before I put it in the light. So you're going to see all of that here. You guys, I always say that I'm going to let you guys watch, and then I always have something else to say. I don't know why I bother even stopping the recording. So I always think too, oh, this is a 45-minute video. What am I possibly going to say for 45 minutes? How am I going to talk all the way through this video? And I always do. So here I'm going in with some, like an alcohol, just to clean the edges. I would like to know from you, because for me personally, creators I follow, when they post a 9 or 13-minute video, I don't like it. I look forward to and wait for them to post. You know, like every Thursday, every Sunday, I'm waiting for it. And that video posts, boom, I'm there. And then I see it's only 9 minutes or 13 minutes long. I just get aggravated. I want a long video. For me, I do. Sorry about the gnats in my frame there. But let me know what you guys like. Number one, do you like these longer videos where I show every single step? And number two, if you do like the longer video, do you like me to talk all the way through? Would you prefer more silence? Let me know what I could do to change to make you guys love my channel more. And I would like to say I'm going to jump off. What I have to do now, this is where I'm crisping up my free edge after the top coat. And after this, I'm going to do the bling. I'm pretty sure I don't have anything else to say. I'll just let you guys watch this. Let's see. Yeah, so look forward to that giveaway. I'm looking forward to that giveaway. I'm really excited to give back to you guys. I can't wait to see who wins. And honestly, it'll probably be next week before I do it, because I didn't have today off, but I had a half day today, and then the rest of the week, I don't have another day off for like 6 more days, I don't think. But some of them are half days, so I don't know. As soon as I can fit it in, trust I will get the giveaway going. But I do want to give, you know, like I said, there were less than 150 people entered so far, and I do want to give my other subscribers some more time to publicize make their names public so I can see them. And also, Kendra is back tomorrow. She, for once, this is first in a long time, doesn't want a complete design change. She just wants a fill. So that's something I don't do very much on my channel at all. So that'll be interesting. I am filming that. So I might have a watch me work for you guys before the giveaway. I'm not sure. It depends on the timing of everything. Maybe I'll be able to get this video. I think I'm going to upload it tonight since I'm done with the voiceover. It's like midnight here in Tucson on Sunday night. So it's, you know, 12 a.m. Monday morning. So I think I will go ahead and get this uploaded tonight. And that way I can delete it and be able to film Kendra's set tomorrow. So unless I have time tomorrow to do the giveaway real quick, I think we'll have Watch Me Work doing a fill on Kendra's nails before the giveaway. Yeah, that's what I'm going to do. That way it gives you guys more time. You guys don't forget to go over to Ms Galore's channel. Okay, I'm not kidding. I'm, again, not a brand ambassador, representative of hers in any way. I just discovered her channel and was blown away. Her nails are bomb, just bomb. She's got over 1K subscribers. She's an OG. She's been around for a while. I was shocked that I'd never heard of her. I was shocked that I was subscribed to her already. When I found her channel, I was like, whoa, she can do nails. She has these cards. Like, what? I was just, and I've talked to her quite a bit since I found her a few weeks ago. And she's good people, genuine good soul. She's hilarious. Her content is great. She has a variety of, she's just go watch her. I'd love to turn people on to new creators. Well, new to you anyway. And get yourself some of those cards. Like, just do it. I can't wait to use them. So we are coming to the end of the video. I'm going to shut my yap, and please, you guys, comment the things I asked you, and I'll look forward to seeing you when I do Kendra's nails. Get yourself a public subscriber so I can enter everyone in the giveaway, and I'll see you guys next time. Okay, you guys? Thank you so much for being here. Bye.